Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti
Suryakotisamabhuva
Samaprabha Nirvignam
Nirvignam Guru
Guru
Me
Me
Deva
Deva
Sarvakaryeshu
Sarvakaryeshu
Sarvada
Sarvada Saraswati
Saraswati
Namastubhyam
Namastubhyam
Vadade
Varadeka Varupini
Kamarupini
Vidyarambham
Vidyarambham
Karishyami
Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu
Siddhir
Me
Bhavatu Me Sada
Sada Gurur
Guru
Brahma
Brahma
Gurur
Guru
Vishnu
Vishnu
Gurur
Guru
Devo
Devo
Maheshwaraha
Maheshwaraha
Guru
Guru
Sakshat
Sakshat
Param
Param
Brahma
Brahma
Tasmai
Tasmai
Shri
Shri
Gurave
Gurave
Namaha
Namaha.
Om
Om
Sahana
Sahana
Bhavatu
Bhavatu
Sahano
Sahano Bhunaktu
Bhunaktu Sahaviryam
Sahaviryam
Karavavahai
Karavahe
Tejasvidhavadhitamastu
Tisvinavadhitamastu Ma
Ma
Vidvishavahai.
Vidvishavahai
Om
Om Shanti
Shanti
Shanti Shanti
Shanti.
Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha
Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha.
Atatratiyodhyayaha
Atha Tridiyodhyayaha.
Shri Bhagavanuvacha
Shri Bhagavanuvacha.
Ye me matamidam nityam
Ye me madhamidham nityam
Anutashtanti manavaha
anutishthanti manavaha
Shraddhavanto nasuyantaha
shraddhavandho na suryantaha
Uchyante te karmabhihi
uchyante te bhikarmabhihi
Ye tve tadabhyasuyantaha
ye tve tadabhyasuyantaha
Anutashtanti me matam
nanutishtanti me matam
Sarvajnana vimudhanstan
sarvajnana vimudam stan
Vitti nashta na chetasaha
iti nashtana chetasaha.
So 31 and 32 we have seen the shloka number 31-32. Bhagavan says Ye mama matam anutishtanti, those who follow the teaching of me with Shraddha and not finding fault, they will be freed from the karma pala. By jnanam, they follow the teaching of me, karma yoga, then by that they get chitta shuddhi, then they pursue jnanam, by jnana nishta, they get moksha. Therefore, they are freed from all the karma. No karma can bind them. Therefore, no janma for them anymore. Whereas the other people who do not follow my teaching and they are fault finders, finding fault with my teaching, what happens to them? They will be deprived of knowledge with regard to every field. Ultimately, Purushartha Jnanam also will not be there. Therefore, may you know them to be lost. See, Bhagavan says, Hey Arjuna, may you know them to be lost. That is, know them to be lost means, so they will not get any worthy human goods. They will not get human goods. They will not attain any human goods. So therefore, naiti. Because they are deluded. They are deluded. Therefore, dharma, artha, kama, iti three purushartha. That dharma and kama, dharma and moksha are sadhya purushartha. Artha and kama, sadhana purushartha. So they have ajnanam with regard to the sadhana as well as to sadhya. So when sadhana ajnanam is there, then what will happen to sadhyam? When ajnanam is there with regard to the means, then what about the ajnanam with regard to the end? So therefore, they will be deprived of all the purushartha, and therefore they are lost. They are destroyed. They are not destroyed physically. It means they will not achieve the purpose of this human life. That is what lost. Like in English, we say get lost. Vidhi nashtan achetasaha. And the next shloka, important shloka, there the famous line, phrase, Nigraha kim karishyati. What is the use of nigraha, withdrawal, restraint? Every being acts in accordance with their nature, their program. So what is the point in restraint? This you can say with regard to the animals. What about with regard to the human beings? No, with regard to human beings also. The action is determined by the past habits. The habits alone determines the character and the action. What is done repeatedly, that becomes the character of the person, and that alone becomes the habit. The habitual liar, we say, who tends to habitual offenders, habitual liar. They don't do it intentionally, but they do it because of the habit, because that is how they have been doing, and because of the habit, without any deliberation, involuntarily they do it. That is because of the past samskara. Whatever they had done before, that is that impression, that past samskaras, that tendency has become so strong, therefore, they involuntarily, not deliberate, involuntarily, they act. So that is what we call svabhava. Svabhavastu pravartate. Therefore, what can the restraint do? Then with regard to jnani itself is like that, and what to talk about the ajnani? What to talk about the other beings? It means the idea here is that svabhava is so strong, it is not easy to overpower it. That is the idea. That is why before it becomes a habit, like the alcohol, the addiction, before one becomes addicted to alcohol, it can be stopped. Once one becomes addicted, then it requires more effort. Himalayan prayatna, Himalayan effort is required to give up anything. Anything is easy to adopt in the beginning. Any habit, any bad habits, but it's difficult to give up. It requires a lot of effort. No effort is required. No effort is required in forming a bad habit, but to give up, a lot of effort is required. After some time, they say, what is the use of control? No self-control. They lament about not having self-control. That's why prevention is better than cure. Before it becomes a tendency, one has to check it. So therefore, nigraha is possible or not? It is possible. When it has become a strong habit, then it is difficult. But before it becomes possible, even after it has become a strong habit, like in the case of addiction to alcohol and drugs, by prayatna it is possible, but it doesn't happen immediately. It takes time. So one has to be patient. One has to work on oneself, one's thinking, one's thoughts, one's habit with a lot of alertness. That is very difficult. That is why human beings lament, not able to control, lacking self-control, is because of this. When any habit becomes very strong, when it has got a strong foundation, then nigraha is difficult. That is what nigraha kim karishyati. In this shloka, then I have following shloka, which we will read. Before that, jnani themselves act in keeping with their svabhava formed by the samskaras, previous samskaras, that is the repeated action, tendency. But jnani will not violate dharma. Jnani will not act against dharma. So therefore, for them, it's not a problem. But all jnanis are not same. Why jnanis are different? Even though jnanam is same, but jnanis are different. That is, the explanation is, the reason what we can give is, it is in keeping with their tendency, samskara, swabhava. So when there is difference in tendency among the jnanis, because of the the swabhava, the same thing is extended to the bhutas also, beings also, because of their swabhava, they act like that. So what is the use of self-control? What is the use of control? What is the use of restraint? How can restraint bring about a change in them? Iti the question. The idea is, before it becomes a strong habit, one needs to have check on it. That is the teaching. That not understood. After that, they say, now Bhagavan here is talking about fate. It is not about fate and all. Free will is there because buddhi is there. Bhagavan has given buddhi the faculty to choose and faculty to choose and act accordingly. So buddhi is given. Therefore, one has free will. The buddhi loses his free will once the habit, the sabhava overpowers it. That is why always anything, any act or anything, it should be checked by the buddhi. So it has to be filtered through the buddhi and then only put into action. So when the swabhava overpowers the buddhi, then nigraha kim karishyati. Then self-restraint cannot do anything. It becomes difficult, highly difficult. But as long as the swabhava is within the fold, control of buddhi, then nigraha is not difficult. With a little practice, little or more practice, it is possible. That is the idea. So with this background understanding, we'll read. Sadrisham cheshthate swasyaha
Sadrusham cheshtade swasyaha
prakritir jnanavanapi
prakrite jnanavanapi
prakritim yanti bhutani
prakritim yanti bhutani
nigraha kim karishyate.
nigraha kim karishyati.
Sadrisham cheshtate, they act. Swasyaha prakrutehe, in keeping with one's prakriti. Prakriti means swabhava, nature. Sadrisham means in keeping with, in accordance with. And in accordance with prakritehe sadrisham, bhutani, swasyaha prakritehe sadrisham, in keeping with one prakriti, jnanavanapi, jnanis are themselves. Jnanis themselves act. Then prakritim bhutani yanti, bhutas also, beings also act in accordance with the prakriti. Nigraha kim karishyati, what can the restraint do, control do, self-control do, what is the use of controlling? The means control is difficult. Even a wise person acts in keeping with his or her own nature, because all beings follow their own nature. Of what use is control? Does it mean control is of no use? No, that is not the meaning here. We'll read. Prakriti used to be nature here, because cause is involved in the sense that one's actions are determined by one's nature. This applies to everyone. Krishna says, even to a person who has knowledge. Jnanavan api. Jnanam asya asti iti jnani. Or jnanavat jnanavan. Jnani. The only difference is that the nature, the prakriti of a wise person is good. Yes, it is good because he is jnani. Therefore, his or her actions will be good. He will not go against dharma. His actions naturally will be in keeping with dharma. Because of jnana. Otherwise, jnanam is not possible. That is why a jnani should be before becoming jnani, should be a dharmika, should be a virtuous person. This is the idea being conveyed here. And if even a jnani, the person of knowledge, performs actions according to his or her own swabhava, his or own nature, what control is possible? If jnani himself wants not able to change his swabhava, not bad swabhava. It's a swabhava means in keeping whatever, if he, that whatever, one is very active, other one is not that much active, just sits in one place, not moving around. So swabhava. When jnani is themselves, it is so, then what control is possible with regard to one's nature? Action in keeping with one's swabhava applies to all living beings, including trees. The tree is a sandalwood, the whole tree will have a particular aroma, not just its flowers. Every tree, flower, plant, insect, bird, animal, and human being, including the jnani, behaves and acts according to Prakriti. Prakriti Myanti Bhutani. That is the order. That is the order. That is how they act. The only thing is jnani never violates dharma. Whereas other beings, particularly human beings, they have the choice to do. Therefore, to do or not to do. To do dharma or not to do dharma. Or not to do dharma. Or to do dharma, not to do dharma. Possible. All the four choices are there. Either follow dharma, what is supposed to do, or don't do dharma, not doing, or do adharma in place of dharma, or not doing anything. All are possible because of the free choice is there. But among the which one the human being does being endowed with the, that depends on his svabhava, prakriti. So one's nature cannot be controlled. Prakriti being what it is, neither the doer of the action or anyone else can control it. Krishna himself cannot control it, as Shankara points out this comment. This is because the person has been given free will, which gives him the capacity to say no to anything. Therefore, what is there that can control it? Nigraha kim karishyati. Unless a person listens to Krishna's vision and decides to behave differently, how is he or she going to stop a particular behavior or action? This is in correction to the previous shloka. They don't follow my teaching, they find fault with my teaching, they are deluded. They choose. They choose not to listen, they choose not to listen, and therefore finding fault. Accordingly, therefore, they behave. So what can Nigraha do? Person has to decide to listen. He has to make the decision. So the Svabhava doesn't allow it. Means the time has not come for them to listen to the words of Krishna. Therefore, you cannot do anything with regard to that. And if the person chooses not to listen, there is no don't that can control what such a person does. Because everyone acts in keeping with his or her svabhava, no control is possible. Be it Krishna's or the person's own control. Even if the Guru says to some particular behavior, how is the person going to stop? The Shishya stop? No. Because svabhavastu pravartate. All that will happen is that he or she will continue the behavior stealthily, secretly. The Gita is also incapable of controlling the person, since it is his or her svabhava to act in such a way. If the svabhava is strong, the person will do secretly. So that is it. But if everyone behaves according to his or her own nature, are we not going to have a problem? Where is free will in this and all this? If everyone were in the hands of Prakriti, doing whatever is to be done according to his or her nature, no one would have any say over his or her action. Of what use is a free will then? This is naturally the question comes. Therefore, now there comes a fight between free will and the fate, Svabhava and free will. If free will is not a factor, there is no such thing as right and wrong. Right and wrong because free will is. Animals, they don't have right and wrong because no free will. They've got limited. It's a program. Human beings can do, even we can use the free will, can abuse the free will. Animals cannot abuse the free will. That's why animals can never become a threat to the environment, whereas human beings can become, because given the free will, there is a choice of doing or not doing. So therefore, right and wrong is possible only when there is a free will. For right and wrong to be, free will must have a sphere. And if all action is keeping with Prakriti, there is no such sphere. There seems to be then no scope for Dharma Shastra in all of this. We don't require Dharma Shastra. Dharma Shastra need not come and teach. If everyone if every one acts in keeping with Prakriti, then why Dharma Shastra is? Free will not there. Free will is limited by the Prakriti. Then Dharma Shastra is of no use. But Dharma Shastras are there. That shows still free will is there and that one can have nigraha, control over it. That is the idea. If free will is not involved, what is the use of such statements as go to your guru and listen, Samitpanagi Shrotriyam, Dharmanishtam, Gurumeva Bigachet? Why such teaching? Satyam Vada, Dharmam Chara. Why such teaching? Do this or that, otherwise you will get into trouble. Do this and you will get this, and so on. Why? All such advice along with Dharma Shastra, Vedanta Shastra would have no usefulness. Would have no usefulness if all action is keeping with Prakriti. If free will is not involved, if free will is not there, and if all actions are governed by Prakriti, then there is no use of Dharma Shastra. This is a good argument. Because Dharma Shastras and Vedanta Shastra is there, therefore it implies free will can be free will is there, and therefore one can use the free will appropriately in spite of the Prakriti. In spite of the Prakriti. Not all actions happen in keeping with Prakriti. That depends on the strength of the Prakriti, the strength of the Svabhava. But because we have free will, these books do have a usefulness. Dharma Shastra, Vedanta Shastra has got utility. If you don't have free will, then it is no use. That's what free will is. So one has to accept the free will. Therefore, the Guru can say, therefore only Guru can say, if free will is not there, then everybody acts in keeping with the Svabhava, then what is the use of this Upadesha, advice, class, etc. Not required. Free will is there, therefore Guru can say, do this and don't do that. Vedas says not to eat meat, kalanjiyam na bhakshayet, not to drink alcohol, suram na pibet, or hurt another person, ahimsam na kuryat. These are all the mandates, enjoyments of the Shastra. But they are not simply arbitrary mandates. While certain things should be done, other things should not be done, is explained in the most reasonable way, and the necessary rationales are present. But to whom are these reasonable mandates given? If everyone is behaving according to one's own nature, then why is there Dharma Shastra at all? The animals don't have a Dharma Shastra because they behave according to their nature. They are programmed, therefore they behave. For them, Dharma Shastra are not required. And they will not violate Dharma also. Therefore, Dharma Shastra Shastras are of no utility. Animals don't have any will. If you nicely ask a tiger not to kill anyone, it may pounce on you because it thinks you are going to attack. Nor can you ask a cat not to mew. It will simply keep on mewing. This is why such creatures don't have books on ethics and scriptures, nor do they join any congregation, let alone work for moksha. The mandates are addressed only to human beings because we have free will. But here Krishna was saying that each one behaves according to his or her prakriti, and nothing can stop it. This came like a bombshell for Arjuna because he always thought he should do something. But now Krishna was saying, no, you just go by your prakriti because nothing can stop it anyway. What does all this mean? Here then there's something important that we must understand, and Krishna begins his teaching explanation in the next shloka that we will see tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Dhanyavadaha.